Happy Dexter Hoover Day, everyone. It's not official yet, but we're making it so after today because when I was putting together all the necessary components to do this review, I realized just how many characters and variants are related to Dexter and therefore are required for me to do a thorough review of even just the Thailand variant of Dexter Hoover with green flag. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, obviously he is tied directly to our three main racers, King, Lightning McQueen, and Chick Hicks. You have all the security vehicles. You have the blue and yellow Piston Cup race officials. Even Brian, the souvenir vendor, kind of relates. And then, of course, all of his counterparts in the future movies, like Chris Revstopski, or from Cars 2, Eric Langley, or all the other Cars 2 flag wavers that Mattel didn't make. Yeah, I got those too. And then, yes, Dexter Hoover has been released about a bazillion times, so there are quite a few variants of this guy to go behind the newest one here, the Thailand variant. And also, he's the most basic pickup truck model, and so there are several other pickup trucks that I wanted to show you guys alongside of him. Yet that one literally is the exact same color as Dexter, so it's a little strange. Okay, let's dive into it. 2025, Dexter Hoover with green flag debuted in Case Q, along with My Name's Not Chuck, Daryl Cartrip, Mario Andretti, made her with Sign, and Nikki B. That was a pretty good case, I would say, to start off the year, even though it didn't have a new release. It had the new variant of My Name's Not Chuck, some nice re-inclusions, Nikki B, Daryl, Mario, and of course Dexter here himself. He has since appeared in another case or two, but this was not his first time. It's not his first rodeo from Thailand. He was released a couple years ago as well, and he's been in 2-packs and whatnot, but this is the first time I am getting around to reviewing him. You know, when Thailand first took over production, I wasn't ready to just start bang, bang, bang. Let's review all these cars over again, because now they're from Thailand. But now, you know, time has passed. I mean, 2018 was 7 years ago. So perfect, not only just to review the variants of him, but just to take another look at some of these characters because it has been so long on the channel. Now, I've always loved the artwork here for Dexter. Looking off to his side there, vivacious. He's got the green flag attached to his wheel, which is something that Mattel has never done. In fact, they've always screwed up Dexter. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You do have the choking hazard in the top left there because that flag is its own piece and is definitely swallowable, and we don't want anyone swallowing that thing. Not even adults, guys. Don't swallow that. I don't know if anyone's got like a weird fetish thing out there for Dexter Hoover flags, but yes, anyways, on the back here we have some other Case P and Q releases from Cars 1. Actually, all these were N and P. Floyd Mulvihill, Claude Scruggs, two of the biggest Pegwarmers now in the history of the entire Cars line. There are some stores that just have dozens of Floyds and Claudes as well. I'm not kidding. Targets across the US are loaded on those two, and they have permeated so many other stores as well. Like, you know, you maybe go to the Macy's that has the Toys R Us. You maybe go to Kohl's, Kohls, and you're like, all right, let me check the toy section. Maybe they have cars. Maybe they don't. I totally understand if they don't. Well, chances are they might have some cars. Floyd's definitely there, right? I've been to Macy's. I've been to Kohl's. You know who's always there? It's Floyd. You know, there's usually not too many other cars. It's just Floyd sometimes riding solo. Like, he's representing at DSW Shoes. Yes, they have cars there too. Probably like Walgreens type store. Like, it's ridiculous. Floyd, get out of my life, dude. I used to like you. Then you have Jonathan Wrenchworth and Donna Pitts. Donna Pitts has peg-warmed a bit too. It's not been great. Oh, and you have Chuck Armstrong there. He kind of slipped my mind because he's in the complete wrong model. Yeah, he's in the RPM model, Octane Game model, but that's just the prototype stock image that they've always used for this guy dating back to 2008 and 9 when he came out with that launcher. And there's one that hasn't peg-worn because he was only in one case. That was Case P, Hydraulic Ramon. Not to be confused with the Hydraulic Ramon we get in 2026. That is just the red one without the elevated hydraulics. Very strange how Mattel does its naming. But anywho, I'll be right back with Mr. Dexter, Mr. Hoover, all opened up.
'Cause we both know one day they're just gonna try again. Without doubt, it's my say.
Here he is out of the package, looking really good. I am actually a big fan of those eyes. Didn't think I would be, so I'm happy about that. Just to go over the brief history of Dexter Hoover, specifically with the green flag, while I show you guys where he appears in the movie there. Of course, you do get a couple glimpses at the first race and then the LA tiebreaker race at the end of Dexter. So I'll show you guys all that. But this is actually, believe it or not, the first time that Dexter Hoover with the green flag has been released as a single. Pretty crazy, right? That being said, he has been in 3 2-packs, 2 of which were made in Thailand. So this is his third go around just from Thailand since 2018, which is pretty crazy. Now, the last time we got Dexter from Red Riders was in 2023, I think it was, or 2. It was either 2022 or 2023 with the checkered flag. Now, Dexter with the yellow flag is the version that we got first, way back in the day in 2008, and they did him a couple years in a row, brought him back for the Radiator Springs Classic line exclusive to Toys R Us in the mid-2010s. So you would think, if I told you Dexter Hoover is coming back in 2026, you'd be like, well, they just did the checkered flag a couple years ago, they've done the green flag now a couple times, and most recently this year, they're doing him with the yellow flag next year. Nope, not actually. It's the checkered flag version again, unless they change it last minute. And also, this reminds me of an error I just made. So Dexter Hoover was released with the green flag as a single lenticular. However, the artwork, I believe, showed him with the yellow flag. It's crazy. The lore on Dexter warrants its own video. And honestly, I'm giving myself an idea. I want to do like a Dexter deep dive. The Dexter Deep Dive, the DDD. There is just so much to this character. Let's start off with how he's just blatantly inaccurate, though, to the movie. And Mattel actually knows this because they released Chris Rust-eze as basically a carbon copy of Dexter. When 2017 rolled around, Cars 3 came out. They're like, obviously, we got to do the flag waiver. It's Chris Rust-eze. It's a female now. Bam, here you go. Same exact thing as Dexter, just a repaint. But again, like we've been saying, that's not right because it's supposed to look like this. Completely different pickup truck model, and the flag is supposed to be attached to the wheel. Now, it's still not. It's still like on the fender there above it, but it's a hell of a lot better than being attached to the side view mirror. And yes, my flag is really chewed up, but that's how it goes with these like weird style decals. It's like a very glossy finish, and sometimes they just get absolutely, there are some words I want to use for it, but messed up. And yeah, this is an example of that. So don't feel too bad if yours looks like that. It's just kind of common. But point being, yes, flag is in the complete wrong spot. He does not shake or wiggle his little side view mirror to indicate to the racers what the condition of the track is. And also, it's a closed bed. It's a smaller, thinner truck, not as wide. And also, yeah, I mean, they took off the official text on the back. We don't know if that's actually there or not on the real deal. Like in the movie, we never see the back of Chris. I also find it funny how, like, you can see here the font of the official text on the sides is different from the official text on the back. The official text on the back matches the font on Dexter, and that is the font they use on the sides as well. So very strange, very, very strange. Point being, though, Dexter should look like this. So if anyone out there is bored and would like to make a custom, take a Chris Rust-eze, either, the white flag, the yellow flag, or the green flag version. I love how they've done all 3 of those and never went back to the checkered flag for Chris Rust-eze. I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, someone just repaint him and make her Dexter, and you'll have a much better looking, more accurate flag waiver. I mean, I guess you can look in the artwork and you can kind of see the bed looks open, but you could definitely tell that's supposed to be that thinner model truck. And obviously the flag is attached to the wheel there, which I understand is hard to do. It's hard to pull off on a die cast like this, but the side view mirror is just a really poor attempt at that. And yeah, so we'll get to the flag component in a little bit, but I do just want to get off of the negatives and focus on how much I like this expression. I'm really vibing with this. It is the Thailandification of what you're looking at here with my original Chinese version of Dexter with green flag. And I just think it looks way better. The eyes are higher. I think they're pretty much still the same distance apart, but adding the eyeshadow there with the black eyeliner just looks really good. And they also changed up his mouth there, so not as tonguey, not as gummy, just all teeth, which I appreciate that. And that is now, nope, that is still a mouth plate. That's unfortunate. So you can see here the crack along the hood and all that, because that is a separate plastic piece, so they could swap it out. And, you know, I mean, this is basically a hybrid of the checkered flag version of Dexter expression. You know, you get the same teeth as him, but the eyes come from the green flag version. But the idea of the mouth plate is so you could swap out those expressions. And they stuck with that. You could still see the crack there. I think it's worked a little bit differently, like the crack's in a slightly different spot. But yeah, that is still a plastic piece there that has not been incorporated into the die-cast body, which is a little unfortunate, as a lot of cars have gone from segmented with the plastic mouth plates to unibody full-on die-cast, which is what we want, I think. Global consensus. I think most of us would want that. Here you have the Piston Cup Racing Series decal, official with the yellow stripes. Looks pretty good. Obviously a little blurrier than the Chinese version. That's understandable, though. We've been through this. It's no surprise anymore, guys. Thailand decals are blurrier, but sometimes they're a little more vivacious. The paint looks a little glossier. Just, they do different things. Inkjet, and that's what they're carrying on over when they are moving production back to China for the 2026 main line. We'll see how much they actually do in Thailand, or what they have left to do in Thailand, and what they all move over to China as time goes on. But we know 2026 singles case A is made in China, but it's the same style that they had been doing and have been doing in Thailand. So the quality will not see an increase, at least to us. You know, I mean, again, I do think the quality of these is still pretty good. They might last longer. The decals might hold up longer in sun, heat, whatever it may be. Whereas, although the Chinese decals of years and decades past were crisper and clearer, they might chip, crack over time. That's just kind of the perspective I've adopted over the last year and a half, 2 years, just because I'm tired of complaining about it so much. But anyways, you have the same logo there on the side. You have the official script logo here on all three sides. His license plate is A113CA, which is the direct Pixar Easter egg. A113 is that number they include at least once in every Pixar movie. And in Cars 1, the big inclusion is Mater's license plate. His license plate is just A113. So the CA might stand for California or something like that. Not really sure. Maybe some initials. I don't know. But yeah, A113, I guess they duplicated for like another little Easter egg here. I assume Pixar had something to do with that, but we never see the back of Dexter. Like I said, same thing with Chris. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Mattel received some exclusive images and poses of these characters from Disney and Pixar that we're not privy to. Like, they show maybe all the angles of these cars, send them over to Mattel, and so Mattel could do the entire car. Because a lot of the times, you know, we only see a few of those angles in the movie, and usually not the back, and definitely not close enough to see the license plate unless it's a main character, like with Mater. And I doubt Mattel is just propagating Pixar's Easter egg by themselves, right? But yeah, I like the blue wheels, big tires, love that. T42A means he was produced during the 42nd week of last year, though. So 2024 at the A factory in Thailand. The new letter is U, so everything made in 2025 will say U, and then the number of the week. Not to exceed 52, because there are only 52 weeks in the year. Here you have the green flag, looking pretty good. It's a darker green than the one I have had before with China. It's definitely a much lighter green. Yeah, I think that's a little too light. Too lime green. So I like this color, the shade, more. You still have the dark gray flagstaff there, and they didn't opt for like a cheap looking plastic gray, light gray like they sometimes do. Now, not only is the flag in the wrong spot, side view mirror versus tire, it is also on the wrong side. As we saw earlier, it should be on his left side. But yeah, you just kind of thread it through. Sometimes, you know, you got to really hold it properly, as it's such a flimsy like piece of plastic rubber that sometimes it bends instead of just sliding through, but eventually you'll get it bend it a little bit there. It's very flexible, very durable, but yeah, I wouldn't step on it. Would not advise that. And there you go. You have your flag waver. Now the pole really sticks up there above the flag blowing in the wind. But yeah, it's really cool. I've always liked how they've made it, flapping in the wind and not just a straight up flag, which is kind of what they're doing now with Chris Revstopski. They just have a little bend to it, but definitely a lot straighter. Obviously, I would prefer that just because of all the other accuracies we talked about. But yeah, good stuff there. That is a pretty big difference, with the new expression being like a mix of checkered and green. I'm a big fan of that. I like that. And now just to show you guys my other Dexters. I mean, this one we've kind of already gone through. Yeah, Dexter was in quite a few multi-packs when he was younger. It is kind of funny to think about these characters like they've aged because, yeah, I mean, in a way they have, and they've evolved. Dexter's kind of an old man now. He doesn't like to be bothered, not only venturing in the multi-packs, but also going and grabbing his yellow flag. His yellow flag is packed away in the barn. He doesn't like to use that one, if he has to call like a hazard or whatnot. He just uses, he just kind of uses his tire and waves up in the air. He doesn't, the yellow flag's a thing of the past. Mattel agrees. Obviously, they have not released the yellow flag version in a while, despite many opportunities. Here's another cool expression for Dexty. Larger mouth versus the shorter mouth. These are all put in storage, so that's why they were separated from their flags. But they're all still in pretty good shape. I think this was my first Dexter. And yeah, he's got the yellow flag. This would be your yellow flag expression. So a little bit different from all of them. You got the larger mouth, and then the eyes are slightly different than everything else. Look at that. Look at all four of those expressions that are just ever so slightly different from each other. That is pretty cool. This is why Dexter needs his own video. Like, he really does. One day, guys, I will make a video on just straight up Dexter. Yeah, so what am I doing? I need to reunite this guy with his yellow flag here. This was definitely my first Dexter. I would hope I got him in 2008. So we're going to do one of my favorite games, guess the date stamp on an old car. And so if this guy was 2008, I am going to probably make the play that he was made in 2008, even though it's possible he was made in 2007. Let me guess, he was made on the 167th day of 2008. So it should read something like 1678 EAA. Oh, man. I'm about 130 days off. 295th day of 2008 at the EA. Close, but no enchilada. There was one where I was only like a handful of days off. That was pretty exciting. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below. I want to know a few things. Like, who's your favorite Piston Cup official? I always loved, and as a kid, we got these pretty early in the game. This is a good team right here. And I think all these were included in a multi-pack at some point in 2010 with like McQueen. Because they all look really cool together. They have the same matching color scheme. And then you have, the security team, which is black and white. It's a little bit of a different animal there. But yeah, race official Tom. Like, I headcanon that him, Dexter, and race official Tom are like best friends, right? Or maybe it's Charlie Checker. Who knows? I mean, Charlie has got to be dialed in on Dexter because it determines on whether or not he strolls on out and drives around for a couple spins. But I also want to know, who is your favorite flag waver? It could be Dexter, it could be Chris Revstopski, it could be an updated version of Chris Revstopski, or if you want to get exotic, it could be one of the Cars 2 flag wavers, like Eric Langley here, the Honda, or Kaiser Kip here from Italy, the Italian flag waver, or the British flag waver, the Austin Mini Cooper here, who I think that might be my favorite. I just love the expression that Jim Scavenger gave him. But guys, thanks as always for watching. Really appreciate it. And I guess I forgot to show you guys Hank Wholesome here, who is the exact same shade of blue as Dexter, but obviously has no decals. But same grill, similar expression, silver wheels though instead. This guy appears in Radiator Springs at the end of the movie for about half a second, and not really even the accurate pickup truck model, but this is just like their go-to default pickup truck model that they use. I honestly don't think half of the cars that they put onto it, like half the characters, maybe even less than that, because it does seem like even Dexter should be the thinner model pickup truck, or not Dexter, but Duff Rex here. But yes, also Dexter and Duff Rex here, they should be different models. And I also think Roger Wheeler here, the Dynaco crew chief, should be a different model. He looks longer and wider, flatter, like it's strange. Like, and then I think they kind of realized this eventually, and that's why Brian Fee Clamp is like that larger Piston Cup or that pickup truck model, and then you have the other one, like that's JW's model. It's crazy, guys. There's so much to go into with pickup trucks, Cars 1, all that stuff. This video has gone on for way too long, but guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon for another video. Bye now.
If all's gonna mend, we both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't pout or I say, 'cause this ain't the end.